What's going on, everyone? Togavor here, and today I'm bringing you guys Week 2, Season 6 of the NPL versus the Bronx Beartics. Alright guys, so here we are, and this week we're facing off against the Bronx Beartics, but first of all, there's a couple of things that I would just like to proclaim. Firstly, I didn't really do anything particularly special for my 200 subscribers account, or 200 subscribers on this channel, and I didn't even particularly acknowledge it directly in the video before this, or maybe I did, but anyways, thank you guys so much for 200 subs. That comes from the bottom of my heart, and thanks to everyone for supporting me and getting here. My friends online mean the world to me, and I didn't do a special for it. I was trying to come up with things, didn't come up with something solid. I do have kind of an idea now, but the thing is, we're already at like 230 subs, which also just blows me away that we are able to accomplish so much more growth, and it just shows me how much consistently uploading really does help with that. So, in the spirit of that, I have an idea for a showdown special, maybe with some friends, maybe by myself, but including lots of berries, as it is kind of a hallmark of my time on this channel, and so that will go up if and when we do manage to hit 250 subscribers, so look forward to that. Second of all, regarding this match, unfortunately, Pokegame MD and Joey was not able to battle this week. He also was not able to battle last week, and because of that, there was a forfeit. However, this week he has a replacement coach in Moxie and Fernape, and so yeah, he's a really cool dude who has been in the major PL and also the NPL minors, took over for a coach last season, so he's a very good competitor. I have another special announcement about him at the end of this video, so you know, his link will be in the description down below, so make sure you do go check him out. He puts out quality content and is honestly one of the best battlers and preppers out there, so he's definitely worth a shot to check out. Anyways, so this is the matchup we are looking at. We have Megalopony, Latias. Wait, this is not the right team. I was just reading the entire wrong team. Might be. I don't know why. Anyways, so you guys know what my team is, as it was the thing that we had last time. And, yeah, so we have Mega Venusaur, Weavile, Thundurus T, Bronzong, Minior, Tentacruel, Clefable, Gothitelle, Lucario, Haxorus, and Seismitoad. And we are facing off against the Bronx Beartics, Manaphy, Tornadus T, Mamoswine, Alolan Marowak, Tangrowth, Drapion, Porygon 2, Beware, Crabominable, Gligar, Mega Medicham, and Turtonator. So you can see his, or you can't see, but his 3 Z-move mons are Manaphy, Tornadus Therian, and Turtonator. I definitely think in this matchup it'll either be on Manaphy and Torn-T, kind of leaning Manaphy with that Psychic Z-move for Mega Venusaur, but also, since at +3 it does a hell of a lot anyway and could kill depending on its spread to basically any Venusaur. I also think something like a Sludge Wave Z-move on the Torn-T could be very effective to take out my Clefable. So those are the kind of two things that I had in my mind when team building for this game. The things that I saw on my team that were very good versus his, he has a really hard time switching into Weavile. His best switching is something like a defensive Drapion. I mean, Porygon 2 can take hits even if after its Violet's knocked off, but if its Violet is knocked off, a lot more of my team can handle it effectively, so it is definitely a very, very scary threat to his team. Also, Thundurus T, he does not have great switch-ins. He does have the Gligar, obviously, but that just gets blown back by HP Ice. Tangrowth, unless it's max special defense Assault Vest, does not enjoy taking a Sludge Wave, and additionally, I have a Mega Venusaur, which is kind of the ultimate counter to a Tangrowth, and I pretty much saw it in none of my mocks, so I really don't expect it to come. The other one is Alolan Marowak, which in standard play may be a very great Thundurus counter, but because I know it's coming, I can run something like Dark Pulse and Knock Off. And if I run like Dark Pulse, it's just 2-hit KO'd pretty much. Even max special defense, if rocks are up, it's guaranteed 2-hit KO'd, and if it's aren't, it's pretty close, if I'm remembering my calcs correctly. Defensively, Mega Venusaur is integral on my team because it is my only way of dealing with Mamoswine. Mamoswine is 100% the most dangerous offensive Pokemon that he has against my team. It's capable of checking giant threats like Haxorus against his team, because if you do notice, his team is lacking in Dragon Resist. So that's why I think it is a definitely going to come. And the other things on my team that are looking very threatening, Clefable could be quite scary, especially, you'll see what I have cooked up with Clefable. It's pretty spicy. Additionally, a Shell Smash Minier, if I run Protect on it to like blocking inside jump kicks. Anyways, I think Mega Medicham could easily be forced out of running Bullet Punch, so I think that Minier could be pretty good, especially, and that's basically saying I can, if I kill Mamoswine, but I have Gothitelle to assist me with that. And possibly the biggest threat to his team, though, just on paper offensively, is my Lucario. He has absolutely nothing. There's two things that are closest to checks come in the forms of Glitter, which I think has an awful matchup against my team, and I would be enormously surprised to see it come against me. And Alolan Marowak, but obviously Lucario gets adequate coverage in either Earthquake or Crunch, such that at +2 with a Life Orb, if it's offensive or even Spadef, it just drops. So I have some pretty good answers to Alolan Marowak with that, and aside from that, E-Speed plus Close Combat after his team is weakened down does a number. So we definitely have some offensive things for him. Looking at his team, the most threatening things are a Tail Glow Manaphy, potentially, especially if I don't bring Unaware Clefable and I don't manage to keep it healthy. A Tail Glow Manaphy absolutely shreds my team. Additionally, Tornadus Therian could be a huge annoyance, especially if my Thundurus manages to get weakened, as none of my Pokemon with reliable recovery really enjoy switching into it, especially if it's an especially offensive variant running Sludge Wave. My team really struggles with that. Or even a Taunt variant could be quite annoying, though not as potent, because if it's running Taunt, it's probably running a little more bulk, it's limited in coverage, and in that case, while Clef might not be able to 1v1 it and be able to wear it down with Moon Blasts, and, I think I can handle a lot more, especially with things like Thunderous T, because then it wouldn't be running a Life Orb, and, I think it's more manageable that way, but still a threat for sure. Drapion could be very annoying if he brings T-Spikes and kills Mega Venusaur, as that really does hinder my ability to do anything offensively minus Lucario, because my team is just constantly worn down, and he has enough solid pivots to work his way around that. And the other things are things like Beware and Crabominable are not that threatening to my team. However, he does have the Porygon 2, which can run Trick Room, and then those Pokemon are quite potent threats versus my team. So that is something else to look at. Those are the things that I see kind of at a glance, and those are the things that I had in my head when I went in to build this team. So now we will go take a look at what my team actually ended up looking like. Alright, so here we are at the team preview, and this is what we're working with. So Gothitelle, as we noted in that, can do a very effective job of trapping potent threats after they're weakened against my team. So that is its role this week. It is to pick off potential threats such as Mamoswine and Mega Medicham, and possibly even Manaphy. Those are the big three that I want to be able to trap if they're weakened at all and knock out. Now, the bold 88 in defense ensures that if rocks are not up, I can switch in on a Medicham's high jump kick and then take the ensuing bullet punch, such that if he is weakened to about 60%, I'll be able to knock him out with the Shadow Ball. So that is exactly what this is for. Very specialized EV spread. The speed allows me to always outspeed Tornadus Therian with my Choice Scarf. Of course, no, that's not true. I don't outspeed a Torn T. What am I saying? It's meant to outspeed a Torn T that is like speed creeping my Thundurus, because a Torn T can't outspeed Weavile. That's what it's meant to do, which I think is what he's likely to bring. My bad. I apologize. Trick is there because it is very nice for his Porygon 2. Get rid of that Violet, trap that if I no longer need my Scarf, or feel like getting the Violet off is more important than my Scarf. Next, we have Hamlet the Lucario with the Life Orb. We have Inner Focus in case of this could come into play with Mega Medicham, so I really want to have that, as he doesn't really have a lot of Dark. He does have Drapion, but Drapion would be clicking Earthquake, and it's not likely that I'd want to switch in Lucario onto Drapion. It could happen, and that could bite me, but I also don't think Drapion is necessarily the best bring against my team, as I do have both the Mega Venusaur and the Seismitoad, which do an effective job of checking it, so that is the reason for Inner Focus, because of his Mega Medicham. I am rocking Extreme Speed, Swords Dance, Extreme Speed obvious because he has the Tornadus Therian, which can obviously outspeed and revenge kill me. SD because it is what gives me the ability to sweep this team. Close Combat is the obvious physical stab, and then Earthquake is there for either, it gives me a little more damage on Drapion, which is nice, of course. It also allows me to just knock out that Alolan Marowak after Stealth Rocks if I'm at +2, no matter what its spread is. So yeah, that is the reason for that. Now, this Clefable set did some amazing work in my mock bet games. It is Unaware, Leftovers, Moonlight, Calm Mind, Cosmic Power, Moonblast. Now, I unfortunately cannot run Stored Power in this matchup because he does have that pesky Drapion that is a good enough matchup versus my team that I can't afford to run Stored Power. But because of Unaware, things like Manaphy, setup fodder. Torn-T, if it doesn't have Taunt and it isn't Z-Move Sludge Wave, setup fodder. So, Alolan Marowak, even if I get to +1 on the switch into Alolan Marowak, he can set up all the Swords Dances he wants, and I will win that battle 1v1 barring a crit every single time. So because of that, Clefable has an amazing chance to just set up and tear through his team. It has done so in like 4 of my mock battles and just won me the game right there. So I'm really hoping that it can do something similar and make this game a lot easier and hopefully walk away with a big differential. Now, next we have the Seismitoad, max physically defensive, so I can most effectively, I can take a high jump kick from a Mega Metacham with this. I can also take Earthquakes and Icicle Crashes from Mamoswine pretty effectively with this. Rocks are essential versus his team because his only hazard removal is Gligar, and I don't see that coming at all versus my team. So once I get them up there, they're to stay. Knockoff is there just to get rid of items on things like Torn-T. Earthquake is there because with this speed investment, most of the time I'm going to be able to outspeed an Alolan Marowak, and Earthquake does a hell of a lot, so that's nice. And Protect is there to scout for things like Torn-T. One particular kind of thing I had envisioned was like, say I lead off with it, he leads off with Torn-T, which has been the lead pretty much every single time. So it's what I expect the lead matchup to be. Say he has Grass Knot, right? I can just click Protect that first time, and then he can, and then, you know, be like, oh, he saw the Grass Knot, he's going to switch out, he's going to go for U-turn, I get up my Rocks. Something like that. That's the reason I'm running Protect. It also allows me, lure Mega Metacham, da-da-da. Okay, next, Thunderous Therian, Assault Vest. Now, there's not a specific reason for this amount of HP, but it just in general allows me to take hits better from either a physical or a special Tornadus. I definitely expect special. I definitely think it's the more threatening set versus my team, but it's what I brought nonetheless. And that speed is there because Mega Metacham's a scary Pokemon, and the rest in special attack because it hits hard. Now, I have Focus Blast because Porygon 2, if I get it down to about 40%, depending on his spread, I can just knock it out. Knockoff is there, so I can take some damage off of Alolan Marowak, but then also knock off its item, and also knock off Pichu's Violite. Because if I knock off Pichu's Violite, which I think is the best switch into this because it can trace the Volt Absorb and is immune to Thunderbolt or Volt Switch. If I knock off its Violet, Focus Blast does like 60, and then at least. And then also, while it doesn't do as much as Dark Pulse would do to an Alolan Marowak, especially given my spread, it does get rid of its Thick Club, which means then if my Venusaur is Mega, it can be an effective switch in, as well as my Clef at that point, that can actually be a pretty good switch in. So that is really nice and essential versus this team. And last but not least, we have Venusaur. It's just there to be a fat wall, as it will be pretty much every week that I do bring it. But this week, especially there for the Mamoswine now. This is pretty just a standard 3-move set since this Sludge Bomb, Leech Seed brought the same 3 moves last week. I really like Leech Seed, shout out to Jolt. These Speed EVs are to, again, hopefully catch things like Alolan Marowak and stuff that's going to try to creep my walls. And then also, okay, Leaf Storm with 32 special attack investment. As long as he isn't running HP on Manaphy, this is just a guaranteed OHKO and just knocks him out. So if he tries to set up a Tail Glow on it, I can just gone, it's out of there, and I don't have to worry about Manaphy. So that is what I'm working there. Again, both that and also the Leech Seed are just, credits to my good friend Jolt for showing me the ways of Mega Venusaur throughout these past couple years. So anyways, that's our team. I feel pretty confident in it through the mock battles that I've done and just, thinking through the possible scenarios in the game and just gaming out, what this game can look like. I feel very confident in that my team can show up as we did last week. So, hope we can stay undefeated, and I'll see you guys in the battle in just a second. Alright, so here we are for the game. Drink in hand. Don't worry, Mom. It's a Canada Dry. So, things at team matchup that I noticed. First of all, brought the Mamoswine, no surprise, but that's definitely the biggest offensive threat against my team. Second of all, Drapion's there, so I am Drapion and Mamoswine, so I am really glad the Venusaur is there because it can do a tremendous amount of work this game. Oh shit. This is such a bad recording. Anyways, aside from that, pretty much exactly what I expected. If I was gonna say 6 months are gonna come, these are the 6 that I would bring. I think they are the most optimal 6. So, shoutouts to Blake. Even though he received the message that he was going to be playing me on a short notice, I think he brought the best 6 against my team. So, going straight into this, I do predict either a Mega Metacham or a Tornadus Therian lead, and because of that, I think Seismitoad's definitely my best choice. Additionally, just noticing things at team matchup, Lucario has a fantastic potential sweep. I think the only thing, I guess, that could have been switched is Drapion could have been the P2 in that slot, and that would have made a lot of sense too. But those are the 7, I guess, potential Pokemon really looking at his team, because I think he had a lot of things that could be brought in a Trick Room team, but overall were just less viable, and he had things that could do a better job. So that's that. Anyways, also Drapion is annoying for Clef because I did consider running a Kevia Berry, which would have made a setup potential maybe, but I didn't. So yeah, it could be an annoying setup with Clef, but I think it could be possible. Again, if I get 2 Cosmic Powers up, it's not like Drapion can touch me anyway. But I'm gonna lead off with my Seismitoad because rocks are good things. He leads off with Tornti. Like I was saying, I go for that first term, that Protect, and he just goes for Taunt. And this is basically like the Grass Knot play. I'd already, like, when going through mock battles and just theory-moning how this game was going to work, I had already made up exactly how I was going to play this, and I'm clicking Stealth Rock on this turn right now. And it serves me, as he does just click Knock Off. Knocks off my Reindeer Berry, I get up Stealth Rocks. Now here, I make a misplay. Seismitoad is not an essential member of my team. It's nice for Marowak, but I have other ways to beat it. And the thing is, he hasn't revealed Grass Knot. He's shown Taunt. He's shown Knock Off. And I should have calced this move, but I didn't. And a calc would have revealed to me that this is max attack Tornadus. Knowing that he's max attack Tornadus, Grass Knot does not make a lot of sense because it only hits Seismitoad. Which means I should have stayed in for sure right here and just click Knock Off. But I do make the safe play. It was not a bad play, but I should have stayed in, click Knock Off. I would have gotten a free Knock Off on anything. Anyways, he makes the smart play, goes to Mamo here. Now I switch out, but I was so close to clicking Focus Blast. But the other thing in the back of my head was, he could be Chople Berry, he could be Choice Scarf. Even though Ice Shard won't kill me, I need this healthy for 20, so I don't think I made the wrong play at all. I do make the wrong play because I go to Gothitelle. Now, I did think rocks were an option. But, that being said, if I predicted rocks, I should have gone into Venusaur. But my best play by far on this turn was to go to Seismitoad. I'm max physically defensive. He's either going to click Ice Shard or Stealth Rock there. Realistically, maybe Icicle Crash. I'm a max defense Seismitoad. I can take it fine. That was the right play. Because this is opening up a hole for Mega Metacham, as it is my most reliable check to Mega Metacham. Nevertheless, it's the play that I made. I go for Energy Ball. It doesn't do quite the damage that I wanted it to, which is unfortunate. And he's going to be able to pick me off with the Ice Shard. So that is the cost. My Gothitelle's down. That was not the correct play. I made it too hastily. But my Venusaur now gets to come in and Mega Evolve, which means that Mamoswine is no longer a threat as long as my Venusaur is kept at about 80% health because he is not Life Orb. Now, I believe he's not Life Orb, was he? No, he was not Life Orb. What am I saying? Okay, I didn't think so. Whoa, so sorry. So, anyways, those plays that happened. I Leech Seeded him as he switched in, which was definitely the correct play on my part, and I get to go into my thing, my Thunderous on this, and get some Leech Seed recovery back, which is really nice. He just goes for a taunt. Now, right here, I just go straight for the knockoff, as I had absolutely no reason not to. His Tornadus probably couldn't touch me, and the play into Mamoswine or Marowak was definitely his best. So, seeing that, that's the play that I made. I go straight out to Venusaur now because it is my best way to take out Drapion on. And I am just going to go for some seeds right here. Unfortunately, I do miss them, which is really, really, really annoying. Because my Thunderous is going to come in and take Stealth Rocks yet again. This time it's going to take Acrobatics Chip. That extra Leech Seed recovery possibly could have kept me out of 2-hit KO range of Acrobatics and another Stealth Rock switch in. So as you just saw right now, I'm letting this get a little bit too far ahead of me, sorry. But as you just saw right now, he switched in his Mega Metacham on my Thunderous. I really do disagree with that play. I don't think there was much reason to. He didn't know my special offensive spread at that point, but because even without the crit, it would have done 68 to 80% with my spread. So at that point, I would have had to probably just sack Seismitoad, which would have been unfortunate. But again, I just don't think it was the right play for him to do. Also, I could have just gone to Clef on the fake out because it would have been a 2 KO. I definitely actually would have gone to Clef there because there's a chance that it wouldn't be the most useful anyway. Yeah, Clef would have been my play there for sure. Obviously, I didn't think about that too much because I did get the crit. But I disagree with the play. Obviously, it worked out more in my favor than it should have, which is unfortunate. But I did get that Leech Seed miss too, which was also very unfortunate. So right here, he goes out to this. Now, here I make a misplay. I make a misplay here. The Canada Dry is very good. It is also it's cranberry. I don't know if you can see that too well. It is cranberry Canada Dry. It is very nice. My family got me a 24 pack because they know how much I love ginger ale. But completely off topic in the middle of the narration. Anyway, so he goes into Marowak here. I should have just clicked knockoff, gotten rid of the thick club, and neutered it as a threat to my team. Because my thing was so weakened at that point, and I'd had other ways to deal with it, namely in Clefable, even though he had taunt. Now, he does get a crit Shadow Bone here, which is very unfortunate. Because since I wouldn't have died to rocks, it would let me gauge more effectively spreads on things and such. Anyways, I just go for Earthquake here, and I get a good amount of damage off on Manaphy. Now, this damage does tell me that he is pretty much max HP on his Manaphy, or has a decent amount of defense investment anyway, but not fully offensive, because I know he has to be enough speed for Lucario, because, yeah, that wouldn't happen. Anyway, he goes for Psychic here, which tells me he doesn't have Energy Ball, which is good to know. And right here, I'm thinking, this is my chance to just set up. Let me get up a Cosmic Power, because he can't do anything to me. So that's what happens. I just set up a Cosmic Power. And he is now in with his Marowak, which is kind of a threat, but I'm thinking this is totally fine. I can just get up another one. There is not a lot that he can do in this one-on-one matchup, and I will wear him down with Recoil, and unless he gets that 6% chance at a crit, then I'm good. I can wear him down, get another Cosmic Power up when I heal enough anyway. So I go for Moonlight there, obviously, being my best play. Now, right here, I just go for a Calm Mind, but he shows off the Skill Swap Manaphy, and this was some fantastic preparation. I have to say, like, I did not see this in a single mock of mine. I thought I clicked pause. But that was amazing. One of the greatest plays. I am going to go bag the Sets of the Week guys for the podcast this week to put that on there because that was fucking awesome. Shout out to Blake. This is why you guys should be watching his content. Anyways, I do, however, make the correct offensive switch here into Thunderous, because I didn't think at that point, at that point, a Scald wouldn't do anything. He was going for Tail Glow, because it gave him the chance to just win. So I make the switch into my Thunderous. I just go for the safe T-Bolt, because I know if he goes into his immunity, he can get the Lightning Rod, but I'll be able to outspeed and KO him with the knockoff. So now he's going to go into his Tornadus Theory and outspeed me, take a drink of ginger ale, and KO me with the knockoff. So my main check to this is gone, but I'm thinking right here, he's clicking Taunt. I'm just going to click Moonblast and get off some good damage on his 14. That is indeed some good damage, but he shows the Citrus Berry, and now his Acrobatics are going to be doing a lot more. So it's definitely pretty threatening to me. Because before his Citrus Berry activated, actually Mega Venusaur could wall it, so that's kind of cute. Now here, he just switches into this. I get another Moonblast off, gets some very nice damage, and I'm at 92. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. I've got his team worn down. Lucario is looking in a great position. Now, he could have gone for Swords Dance there, but I didn't see it coming. Now, here's the thing. I made a misplay there, I think. Maybe. No, I don't think I did. That was the right play. Anyways, so I go for E-Speed there and take it out. Now, there I think could have been a misplay. I kind of think I should have used that opportunity to heal up my Mega Venusaur. And you'll see why later. Because I had a safe switch in to... a pseudo-safe switch into that Tornadus and a way to 2-8 KO it with Lucario. So, I think healing up Mega Venusaur there probably would have been the right play. But, I don't know. I think this was still a fine play. Anyways, here's where I actually make a misplay. So, I'm doing calcs. I'm looking at max attack, acrobatics versus Lucario. against my spread, which is 40 HP, of course. And I'm just thinking, I see the roll, and I was just petrified at this point. I thought I had the game at this point. I was too sure of myself having the game, but I didn't want to be critted here, because I thought that was the only way I lost the game. So I ended up going for extreme speed here. Now, he could not kill me unless he got a crit here with acrobatics. And of course he could have clicked taunt. But if he clicked taunt, the worst case scenario was then the series of plays that I ended up making anyway. So there was no reason for me not going to Swords Dance. If I clicked Swords Dance, I guaranteed got a kill with Lucario. And if I guaranteed get that kill with Lucario, then either way, from the range his 2 Pokemon are at, Clef can just come in and win the game. Should have made that play 100%. It gave me a 94% chance to win the game. But I don't. I go for extreme speed, which is a 2-hit KO. At this point, it's still a roll in my favor to live. He gets the 25% roll in his favor, which is unfortunate, but again, 25%, 6%. Right. So now right here, I knew he was going to go for Acro. I knew it. I go for that. Now, anyways, at this point, he goes into his Manaphy. Now, right here, I have 3 possible plays, 2 of which can win me the game. 2 of which can win me the game. 1 of them cannot win me the game. So, actually, well, right here I only have 1 play. Moonlight, which is the play I thought I made. Now, I put Moonlight and Moonblast on the same set, and my stylish makes them look very similar. They're both pink, and they both begin with Moon. I was very excited at this point to win the game. So I clicked the pink Moon button, but I clicked Moonblast. Moonlight was 100% the play, and let me tell you why. I was so clear to me. It pisses me off that this happened, but not that no one would be mad at it except for my own, hasty decision making. But well, not really decision making, just hasty hand-eye coordination, pretty much. But yeah. So Moonlight, right? You're thinking maybe it's 50-50 because if I Moonlight and he skill swaps right there, because like if he skill swaps and I just click Moonblast, then it's a 2-hit KO and I win the game because Scald can't kill me from there. But if I Moonlight and he skill swaps me, what I'm then able to do is he will have done that once, and then I can go for 1 Moonblast after that, as he goes for a Tail Glow, presumably. Then what I would be able to do is switch into my Mega Venusaur, sack my Mega Venusaur, then Clef comes back in with the Unaware, can live any hit because his +3 is rendered irrelevant, and take him out with another Moonblast. That was one series of safe plays. The other series of safe plays is that just let him take it, click Moonlight, then click Moonblast twice, because at the amount of HP that I would be at after Leftovers and a Moonlight, I would actually be able to take any +3 hit, either a +3 Scald or a +3 Z Psychic move, which is what he ends up being. But he clicks Surf as I click Moonblast when I meant to click Moonlight, and what that is going to allow to happen is him to take out my Clef and then take out my Venusaur with the Z Psychic move, which is super unfortunate. Lost a game to this. However, regardless of how I played, this will end up being a 1-0 win in my favor, because after this game, Pokeaim MD decided to withdraw from the league, and also Gator ended up withdrawing from the league also kind of as a result to that, which is super unfortunate. We're super sad to lose, a big opportunity for our channel to gain some more exposure. However, it does give us new opportunities. Moxie and Fernape, this sub for this battle, will now become a permanent coach in the NPL, but not for the Bronx Beartics. He will be taking over Gator's team, and Schady will be taking over for Pokeaim MD. But what that would have meant, what that means is that I have to play Moxie next week because I was going to play Gator. And because Pokeaim forfeited this week, and anyways, I'm getting a 1-0 victory this week, but that doesn't mean I'm happy with how I played. I know that I lost this game, but just in the record books, it's still a win because it was a forfeit. But next week, we are playing Moxie 100% for real this time, and so I am super excited for that. Also very scared because he beat me this time, even if it was a misclick that cost me the game. He still beat me fair and square, and that skill swap Manaphy was quite amazing. If he didn't bring it, I would have just 6-0'd him right there with the Clef, barring crits. So, he's, toast to my man Blake. Anyways, so make sure you do go check out him. Make sure you go check out Schady, who will now be coaching the Bayern Munich, who will be taking over the Bronx Beartics. They'll be allowed to make some free agency transaction, as makes sense because they didn't draft their team, and those will of course be for free and not take away from their seasonal transaction limit. But anyways, that is pretty much for the video. Even if it is by technicality, we do advance to 2-0 for the third straight season. And with that, I don't really have anything else to say. So, I'm Togavor, you're yourself. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace!